507, this is Click here on CHUO-FM89. The Ottawa International Film Festival kicks off this Friday. To find out more, I'm joined in the studio by Festival Director Nina Bains, and also on the line by Cody Campanale. He is the director of Jackie Boy, which is having its Canadian premiere at the festival. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, Nina, I thought we'd start off with you. For people who aren't familiar with the festival, maybe you can tell us a bit about the mandate of it.
Sure. Our festival is aimed towards filmmakers that are mid-career. We do reserve a space for emerging talent, though, but mid-career to established filmmakers, generally under the $1 million mark in terms of budgets. We do have 30% of our content reserved for Canadian content, and the rest of the films are coming into us from all around the world. So this year we have 50 projects from 15 countries.
Now you've cut down to 3 days this year, and I'm wondering why. Usually festivals grow, so I was wondering what's the story behind that.
The story behind that includes our move to Lansdowne. Our offices are located at the Horticulture Building in Lansdowne, and we've been able to form a partnership with Cineplex. So, it's year 6, but really it's year 1. We've passed the first 5 years, gotten through them successfully, and now it's time to rebrand, refocus, and relaunch in some ways, and turn it into more of a business and an industry event versus just an event that celebrates.
You are emphasizing Ottawa as a tech city. How are you doing that?
Well, we are, Ontario actually has a really great post-production tax credit. And by offering an award for best post-production and visual effects, we feel that we can attract more filmmakers that would want to come to Ottawa and then learn a little bit more about Ontario and maybe do some post-work here.
Cody, your film is Jackie Boy. You call it a polarizing film. Why is that?
Well, it's it's definitely a tough film for audiences to take. I mean, I think it's not a film to easily like necessarily, but that doesn't mean you can't really appreciate it and understand what it's trying to do. I think there are some people that will love it for its what we're trying to do artistically. It's very tough. It deals with some raw, controversial subject matter. It deals with, issues of misogyny in young men, the emotional disconnect, hookup culture, sexual violence. It deals with a lot of really tough to swallow topics. So, these are not the easiest conversation starters.
No, for sure not. But how do you deal with some of these topics like hookup culture and all that with while avoiding sensationalism?
Well, I think with any sort of piece of fiction, there is an element of sensationalism that does creep into it because it's drama, right? Drama needs to be heightened in order for it to be entertaining. Because if you documented someone's real life 100%, and played out every moment, it wouldn't be interesting. Only moments would be interesting. So sensationalism does creep into it. The key with sensationalism, though, is that you have to be tasteful and respectful and completely understanding of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say with the actual piece of work. So that's the main difference. When you're trying to be sensational, to over the top to a point where there's no substance behind it or there's no meaning behind it, that's when it becomes in bad taste.
You say that this is a film that was an extra hard sell in Canada. Why is that?
Well, I think, there's all sorts of theories that we've tried to put together to try and understand why it's been so hard there, because it's actually been really well received down south of the border, and it's, overseas in Europe, we're having some attention that's being brought to it. So it's been kind of tricky for us to understand why. I think that Canada is generally speaking a polite country. We're very, it's not easy for us to push the boundaries per se here, and not a lot of our films do. Some do. We do have some filmmakers who are doing it. I'm not the only one, but my goal is always to see what other people have done, and then I want to push it a little farther.
We're going to. We're going to listen to. We're going to listen to a clip. It's from early on in the film, and it has to do with ice cream. Maybe you could just set it up for us.
For For sure. So in this scene, Jack, who's a self-destructive womanizer of a character, very not a likable guy, doesn't treat women very well. He's basically been chasing this young girl, Jasmine, that he's kind of found an interest in, and he basically ends up buying her an ice cream cone, and he's trying to get her number. So this is sort of where we're at.
Okay.
And I'll tell you after the clip what happened.
All right. Okay.
So you got a boyfriend?
Will you stop hitting on me?
Nope. What's your number in here? So we can hang.
I'll text you my number if you let me take your picture.
All right.
Pass me your ice cream.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Shoves an ice cream cone in his face at the end of that.
We cut you off. So yeah, she shoves an ice cream cone in the face. There's not a lot of dialogue in this film. I mean, it almost reminds me of some European films.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, and I'm
agreed. They like it. I think it's because of that. You know, I mean, the dialogue. We intentionally limited the amount of dialogue because we wanted to focus a lot more on the emotions of the characters and the facial expressions, because so much can be said without actually saying much at all, and that's kind of was my intent there.
You auditioned over 1,000 actors for this film. Why was it so hard to find actors?
Well, I mean, the content is pretty hard, and what we found was there were a lot of people who would read the script and basically would go, nope, can't be seen doing that, or we're going, you know what, this is not something I can do, or their agents per se might even get involved and say, you know what, honestly, my client, I want them to be a Disney star, or I want them to be on a big teen show, and I can't have them running around doing these terrible things on screen. So it was very hard to find actors who were willing to take a risk. So I realized that in order to find the right actors, I had to go after people who had everything to prove and nothing to lose. And that comes from younger actors who are first-timers or who haven't had a lot of screen time, to develop their craft. So that's why. And when you're dealing with those types of actors, it takes you a longer time to find the right ones.
Nina, what are some of the other highlights for you?
Of this film?
Of
or the festival in general?
The festival, yeah.
Well, we're very proud to have Cody Campanale come back to us. He had a film in our festival a couple of years ago, and the transition, seeing him grow as a director, has really been remarkable for us. So I'm very, very excited about that. Morgana McKenzie is a 15-year-old student, and she's opening up with one of her films prior to Cody's, which is going to blow everybody's minds away. We've got a conference section to our festival this year, in addition to all of the other international films, and that's really important because I feel that these conferences and these panels will help bring some skills to Ottawa that haven't necessarily existed before, and could potentially, strengthen some of the strengthen the industry to some degree. And
any goals then for next year? You thinking about that?
We are already starting to plan for 2016. I mean, the festival's hardly, taken off it's going to take off on Friday, but we've already planned for 2016, and we'd like to just use this model and make it bigger and better for next year.
We've been looking at the Ottawa International Film Festival, which runs Friday to Sunday. I've been talking to Nina Bains, director of the festival, and Cody Campanale. He is the director of Jackie Boy, which screens Sunday at 4 p.m. at Lansdowne Park Cineplex Theatres. Thanks to both of you for talking with me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
We're going to listen to some music now from a local band, The